Hi YouTube friends, I'm Heidi Villegas of Healing Harvest Homestead. Today we're going to go ahead and make a menopause tea blend formula that's really good for women who are getting to that age where they're kind of starting to experience some symptoms of peri-menopause, of going through full-blown menopause, or just for regular female support. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the different herbs. Now, in a previous YouTube video, I talked about how to formulate a tea, and you can find that in the videos. But I want to go ahead, I'm going to loosely talk about that formula strategy as I create this tea blend for you. Anyway, I've got my herbs split into 3 different parts. I've got my primary herbs. These are the active herbs on the female body. I've got my supportive herbs over here. These are the herbs that are going to support the actions of the primary herbs. And then I've got my stimulating herbs. The stimulating herbs are going to actually help get the actions going in the primary herbs. So they all have a purpose in here. In addition to that, I'm going to talk a little bit about taste, because I think it's really important that herbal teas definitely taste good if you can make them taste good, and they should also be pretty. Of course, I'm biased. I think every single herbal tea is just beautiful, but not everybody agrees with me on that. And I think they all taste beautiful too, because when you fall in love with the plants, they are beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and use a tablespoon as a part. So instead of measuring out a cup of this, a cup of that, or even weighing, I use the folk method, and that's by parts. And so what that allows me to do is choose the amount of herbal preparation I want to make. In this case, I just want a smaller amount, so I'm going to use a bowl and a tablespoon. Now, if I wanted to make a larger amount of my tea blend, like a moment ago, I made this formula for my Confident Herbal Tribe students, which is really a nice one. I made a larger amount because I'm going to be drinking that one a lot. All right, so I used a larger scoop and I used a larger bowl. So you can play with the parts method and get, just so you can get the amount you want. If you are first starting out with your tea blending, and you're creating your own blends, it's a really good idea to start with really small parts. Even teaspoons are just fine. Otherwise, you know, if you are a professional or you want to have a tea shop, you're going to use much larger parts, so you can get big bowls of tea to sell and, you know, give away or whatever for gifts. So this tea blend includes chaste berries. These are from a chaste tree, Vitex agnus castus. And these berries are amazing for supporting women, both through menstruation, cramping, things like that. It helps balance you. So I'm going to put 1 part in here, and I love Vitex. It's a very pungent, it's a great smelling herb if you ask me. And then I'm going to put in 2 parts of sage. Now, sage is an astringent herb. It's quite drying. I harvested these last year, and they're not off the stems yet, so, or last summer. So I'm going to eyeball this and put about a tablespoon in. I'm just going to go ahead and leave in the stems, and I've got some calendula flower petals that snuck in there. That's okay too. I grow a kitchen potager garden out front of my kitchen. So when I need something, I can just go out there and grab it. And honestly, when I harvest out of the potager garden, it's for us in the house here. And I'm not super careful because everything out there is very safe and goes together very well. Calendula is a flower that goes well with everything. And even though it's not in this recipe, if I get a few flowers in here, I'm not going to care too much. So here's my sage. All right, add a few more. Sage can help with hot flashes, okay? So it's one of those plants that is drying and cooling at the same time. So if you drink a nice sage tea, if you're experiencing a hot flash, you might just get immediate relief. But it's one of my favorites. I love growing it so that it's as fresh as possible. And it's so common that you can get it easily all year round. Now, I'm not talking about white sage here. I'm talking about regular garden sage. There's many, many species of sages. Most of them are interchangeable, but white sage is becoming endangered. So next one is red clover. Red clover contains a high level of isoflavones, which are the compounds found in legume family plants, and red clover is a legume, it's a bean from family Fabaceae, and these will definitely support the female hormonal system, okay? So that's why the red clover's in there. Another herb I have in here is the motherwort. The motherwort, as you can tell by the common name mother, it is excellent for women, and it's just delightful as well. It doesn't taste that outstanding, but it sure is helpful. Its Latin name is Leonurus cardiaca, and you can probably tell by the species name that it's specific to the heart as well. Older women, as they age, often will have high blood pressure or have issues with the heart, and motherwort is an herb that's very supportive in that regard. So it's just a good herb for general health for women. I'm also going to put in black cohosh. Now I want to talk to you about black cohosh for a moment. This is an exceptional herb for hot flashes. Now there's a lot of literature out there right now that I've come across here and there saying it's not safe, okay? And honestly, very powerful herbs should definitely be cycled on and then off. So 3 weeks on, a week off is usually a good standard time frame. But black cohosh has kind of gotten a bad name because for a while there it was very popular in the health food stores. So it would be sold in little capsule forms, and some companies were adulterating it. In addition to that, depending on the supplier, and what country it was coming from, sometimes it would be cut with other herbs. You need to know your source of your herbs. You need to know where you're getting them and where they're coming from. And that's one of the reasons why, if you can grow your own, the best way to do it. They're freshest that way, and you know exactly what's in them. But I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 part of black cohosh in here. And because I'm using such a small amount in this tea blend overall on a part by part basis, I'm not going to be too concerned about the amount of black cohosh and any kind of liver toxicity. In addition to that, I know that this is pure black cohosh because of where I got it. All right, so that's a little bit about black cohosh. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go on to our supportive herbs. Our supportive herbs are, again, those that support the actions of your primary herbs. And in this case, I'm going to use a little bit of Skullcap. So we're going to do 2 parts of Skullcap. Okay, beautiful, bright, fresh, green Skullcap. Skullcap has mild sedative properties, so it's nice for calming and soothing. And then I'm going to use a little bit of lemon balm. I'm going to put in 1 part of lemon balm. Now, 2 parts of lemon balm, sorry. One thing about lemon balm is it supports the nervous system. So it can help with the stress response, which is really important for women as well. Actually, it's important for everybody. Lemon balm is one of those plants. It's just very good for pretty much everybody. It's a mint, it's in the mint family. This bright yellow dried root, actually a rhizome, is ginger. Now we're down to our stimulating herbs now. And I'm gonna use 2 parts of ginger. Your stimulating herbs, they actually help activate those primary herbs. So you've got lots of actions going on in this herbal tea blend, in this formula. You've got your specific action herbs that are specific for what you want it to do in your body. You've got your supportive herbs, which help mitigate any of the kind of harsher effects of the active herbs, or help just to support the whole process. And then you've got your stimulating herbs, and the stimulating herbs taste good, number one. Usually stimulating herbs are so delicious, and they also help stimulate or activate the active herbs, okay? And that's because a lot of times they are circulation enhancing, and they get into the body and they They just help things get going and get moving. So that was cinnamon I just put in, and it's cut and sifted. So I'm gonna mix this up real well. All right. And if you're interested, I hope you subscribe to my channel, by the way. But if you're interested, you might want to consider taking my course on the art of tea for pleasure and health. In that course, I go through all of the methods for preparing water infusions for tea drinking, my formulation triangle with some examples, and you do get my ebook, Creating Herbal Teas for Pleasure and Health. So it's a good course. It's not expensive, and I do have it available all the time. Or if you'd like, you can join the tribe, which is my membership group for learning about herbs. Every month, I'm in there all the time to support my students. So it's not like I'm just turning you loose and letting you go. I am there so you can ask all kinds of questions. And you also get that course as part of the tribe membership. You get lots of courses as part of the tribe membership. So it's really a good deal, and it's just wonderful for what you get. Here's the tea, okay? So if you are a woman, or you know a woman who is going through peri-menopause or menopause, experiencing those hot flashes, having kind of trouble with hormones and things like that, this might be a nice tea for you to try, okay, or for them to try. Maybe you could make it for them. But as for me, I'm going to enjoy this and have a cup right now. All right, I hope you subscribe. Have a really good day, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.